Yeah, okay. Okay. Hey, so welcome, and it's nice to have you here. It's Delia, yeah, I think so. Um, so today's class, we are going to start standing, but I am going to be going through a lot of kind of beginner stuff, just so those of you, Nancy and Barb, this is going to be just a reminder of things, but I think it'll be good for Delia. I feel like I'm saying that wrong, so pardon me if I am. But I wanted something more of a beginner class today. So we will start standing just to move. So the biggest thing today is to not do anything that causes any discomfort or pain. So it could be very simple movement, but if it causes discomfort and pain, you must stop. Not every single movement is good for everybody. I also want you to respect your boundaries. So if you move in a certain way and you're like, oh, if I go any further than this, something doesn't feel right, is uncomfortable, causes pain, that means that you reach that boundary and you must come inside of that boundary, okay? And it'll probably become more clear when we start. So those are the two main things. Don't ever put yourself in discomfort or pain, no matter what I say or what anybody is doing. It's just time for you to just stop and wait it out until we move to something new. Okay, so let's just come to our feet to begin. And you're just going to notice wherever your feet fall. So when you're standing up, you just don't really pay much attention to when we're standing. Another thing I'll just say is that a lot of things in my class I teach so that not only that you do these things when you're on your yoga mat, but it's things that you can take outside off your yoga mat. So whether you're washing dishes, walking, riding a bicycle, whatever, these are some of the movements for you to just become aware. So aware, how do I normally stand, and maybe what can I do to maybe improve that? Okay, so to begin, when we stand, we may stand with our feet kind of out to the sides. A lot of people stand where their front of their body kind of comes over their toes. So we kind of, and even when we walk, we tend to walk where we're not straight. We may feel straight. And then when we do stand straight, I will say in quotations, some people feel like they're actually falling backward because they're not used to having the weight in their heels. So what we'll do to start is you're just going to notice wherever your feet naturally land. So mine probably would land, if I wasn't thinking about it, I know I have one foot that turns out a little bit. So let's just bring our feet forward and just about hip width distance apart your legs are. So you're just going to point your toes forward first, and you're going to take the weight of your belly and everything, because a lot of times our weight will kind of hang over our toes. You'll feel the weight more in your toes, and you're going to push that weight. So I'm kind of just like, see how I'm not moving like this to put my weight back, but I'm just kind of putting my weight back over my heels. I can kind of like lift my toes and I feel like my weight is on my heels. And now just trying to relax there. So just noticing how that feels. So your weight is back. You're going to let your arms just hang by your sides. You're going to check in with the chin. We often have our chin poking out. We're just going to kind of bring the chin in like we're making a double chin. Not too much, just a little tiny bit. And you'll feel like the neck is really long in the back instead of the neck being crunched. Pull the chin in a little. The neck is nice and long. We're going to drop the arms. And if you want, if you're comfortable, you can just close your eyes. If not, that's fine. You can keep them open. And we're just going to start with some big breaths. So letting a big breath in through the nose, and we're going to first let it out through the mouth. So big breaths in, and let it out through the mouth. And do that a couple times. You can even bring the shoulders up this time. You're going to take a big inhale, bring the shoulders up. And let the shoulders just drop on the exhale. We'll do it again. Bring the shoulders up, squeeze the shoulders. Now bring the shoulder blades, like we're Squeezing the shoulder blades in the back, and then drop the arms again. So you're kind of just doing a shoulder roll, bringing the shoulders up, squeezing the shoulders in the back, and just let the arms just fall. Come back to the breath now. Notice how you feel. Notice if you're clenching in the jaw, and release that. Weight back into the heels. Chin slightly tucked. And now you're going to come to a breath that you can let out through your nose, as well as inhaling in and exhaling out. Putting a hand on the belly, and see when you breathe in, can you feel the belly come out? So you breathe in and your belly should just really relax. And you'll notice that the belly will expand out. And then on the inhale, you probably notice the belly come back in. So before we start moving, I just want you to get the sense of ease in your body. So I don't want you to be clenching anywhere. So release the jaw, release any tension in the shoulders, release that tension. We hold our belly in a lot. We're like always sucking in. Just try to let that go. Let the belly hang. Let everything just feel like it's at ease. If your feet feel really uncomfortable, the toes pointing forward, you can make adjustments. If it's really uncomfortable for you to stand that way, you can make adjustments and stand however feels most comfortable to you. And we're going to just start with a little bit of movement. So we're just going to shake the hips from side to side. You can do something entirely different. All it matters is that we move a little bit. So I'm just shaking the hips from side to side, and I'm shaking my hands out to the sides. I'm going to bring the arms up. You can go a little faster with your shakes. I'm going to do a few bounces here. Honestly, anything that feels good to you. We just want to get the body moving. So I'm shaking. I'm bringing opposite shoulders up. You can bring the arms up. You can dance, whatever you want. I'm going to swing the arms now from side to side. Kind of coming up on one toe here. And I'm going to check in with my breath and bring big breaths in through the nose. You can let it out through the mouth or the nose, up to you. You're moving, but you're also trying to bring in this sense of ease, like this sense of softness, this kind of sense of just letting go. You can slow that movement down now, come to stillness again. So just coming back to your breath. So just taking a moment, noticing the breath come in. Notice it come out. You can make any kind of size you want. Just really try to feel if you can bring that body into that softness. So relaxing the shoulders, the jaw, face, the forehead. So I'm going to invite you now to either keep standing or to get a chair and sit. If you want to sit on the floor, that's available to you as well. However, if this is your first time doing yoga, I would sit in a chair, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sit in a chair. And when you're sitting in a chair, I want your feet touching the floor. So you probably have to sit right at the edge of your chair if your seat is high. If not, you can push your bum all the way back. But even sitting, when we go to sit, what we're going to do to sit, we're going to hinge to sit, okay? So we're going to go practice that right now. So we're going to hinge at the waist to sit, right? We're going to hinge down and sit. So it's almost, think about your toes, your nose over your toes to go and sit. So nose over toes, I'm just hinging at the waist, and I'm going to come, and I'm not going to just drop. I'm going to come up again, push into heels, come up. But a lot of times people will go and sit in the chair and they get so far, right? So you're gonna go, think about nose over toes to sit, and people will go, and they'll just fall, okay? So I'm gonna come up again. So this is something that you can take off the yoga mat, okay? So I'm gonna hinge at the hips, just hinging. I'm keeping everything else straight. I'm not arching the back and poking out the ribs to sit like that. Keeping everything just down, normal, wherever you feel great. And then you're just going to hinge at the hips, nose over toes, and you're going to sit down in your chair, nice and slow. So when I come back, my weight is in my heels, and I'm going to slowly lower myself to the chair. I'm going to make sure that my feet now are touching the floor, so I'm going to scoop my body forward. Slight tuck in the chin. Sorry, I had to look over my notes. I changed the class last minute. So we're sitting at the edge of our chair now. I want you to find your sits bones. So you know your sit bones that you could feel, like two bones, your bum. And sometimes we have to move the fleshy bits, right? So that you could really feel them. So I'm feeling the sits bones now, and I'm just imagining the spine, a little arch in the lower spine, and then moving up the spine. So just visualizing that with a little tuck in the chin, making the neck nice and long. And all we're going to do first, whether you're standing or sitting, we're going to raise our arms up in the air. So we're going to go a big inhale and raise the arms. So my palms are facing one another, and I'm just raising the arms up in the air. And I just want you to notice what happens, okay? So arms are raised, pointing up towards the ceiling. Now your arms may only come to here, and that's fine. And I want to notice as your arms are up in the air now, if you're arching your back, so are you arching the lower back? You see how my back is coming in and my ribs here, my chest is like pointing upward. So you see my arms can go way back when I do that. But we want to work the mobility we have in our arms without getting any help from the back or the chest. So even starting with one arm, let's bring one arm up, and you're going to stop whenever you feel like your ribs are helping you bring your arm up, okay? So we're going to just bring one arm up. Now, when I first started doing this, my arm only kind of went to here. So don't be surprised if your arm only goes to here without help in the ribs, okay? No worries. One arm up, inhale. Exhale, and drop the arm. Move to the other arm. We'll do one arm at a time first. Inhale, bring the arm up. Again, notice what happens. One arm may not go as far as the other. So what we're doing here is we're working in the mobility of our arm in our shoulder, okay? Big inhale, exhale, come down. Now today's class is going to be more explanatory because it's Lila's first time. So please excuse all the instruction. It won't always be like this, okay? But you're going to take the stuff you learned and you'll be able to bring it into your next class. So still now bring our both arms up this time. And exhale down. We're going to bring the arms a little wider now. So the arms are going to come up a little wider. Take an inhale. Exhale, come down. Breathe out through the mouth if that feels good and not good for you at this point, if you're not used to just breathing through your nose all the time. So again, the arms a little wider, bringing them up. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Now the arms are going to come out towards the side. So I'm going to bring the palms, I'm rotating the palms out so they're almost coming to the opposite walls. And then I'm going to raise my arms out to the side. So now my hands are pointing forward or towards each other, sorry. Big inhale and exhale. Come down. We're going to do that again. Remember, we don't want any arching in the back. We don't want the ribs to come up to help the arms, okay? So we're going to bring the hands out. So we're externally rotating the arms, and I'm going to bring the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, bring the arms back down. We're going to bring the left ear to the left shoulder. Now, if your chin is poking out like this, Make sure you bring the chin in first, and then we're going to drop the chin towards the shoulder. And we're going to extend, so left ear to left shoulder, and then extend the right arm, palm facing up, and take a breath here. And when you take a breath, see if you can take a big breath and you feel the belly just really expand out. So you're taking a couple breaths here. And then on your next exhale, you're going to bring the head back up. Inhale here. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. It may feel more comfortable here. Just try a slight little tuck in the chin here. Extend the left arm, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Release tension anywhere in the face, around the belly and the shoulders. Just be very gentle. You're not stretching so far that you're just trying to get the biggest stretch ever. Just very gentle. And breathing here. One last inhale, and then on the exhale, bring your head back up. We're going to open our arms nice and wide now out to the side. So you're going to stretch the arms back behind you and notice what the shoulder blades are doing. So the big shoulder blades in your back, see if you can kind of squeeze them together. So it's not so much like our arms are forcing our shoulder blades back. We're really trying to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a breath and then exhale. Cross the arms over one another at the elbows. Bend the elbows. And the two backs of the arms now are kind of facing one another. Relax the shoulders. So take a breath. Exhale. Relax the shoulders down away from your ears. You're not forcing anything, just relaxing. And now the backs of your arms, I could bring them close together without much, it's not that difficult, but what I want you to do is almost bring them together. You'll feel the shoulder blades nice and wide on your back. Bring the arms together without bringing them together. So what I mean is that you'll kind of feel a bit of resistance there. If you don't get it, don't worry, just continue with the movement. And now I'm going to reach my fingers up towards the ceiling, but I'm not bringing my shoulders up like this. My shoulders are down. My fingers are just going to go a little tiny movement. My hand is not going to move that much. Again, no tension. Inhale, relax the face, the jaw, the space between the eye. You can reach the fingers up and bring them back down. Inhale, reach the fingers up. Exhale, bring the arms down. So you can see I'm moving probably like an inch. Inhale, fingers up. Exhale, down, uncross the arms, give the arms a shake. Come back to the breath. Again, gonna open the arms nice and wide. Feel the shoulder blades come together, or even just put your mind in the shoulder blades and say, shoulder blades come together. And then a big inhale. And exhale, this time put the other arm on the bottom. Bend the elbows. And the arms you're just kind of forcing the arms together without letting them come together. So it's like you're creating this tension between your arms. Inhales, exhales, come back to that ease, that gentleness, that softness around the face, around the belly. Check in with the pelvic floor. Are you holding everything in? Because sometimes when things are new is what we do, right? Is we tense. And we're going to bring the fingers up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale, release down. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, hands just barely reaching up towards the ceiling. Breath in, exhale down. Take your time. Inhale, fingers up towards the ceiling. Exhale down, and release and shake that out. Come back to the breath and come back to that sense of ease, like you're going to let everything just be very gentle and calm. No, not holding tension anywhere. And now we're going to take our right arm and we're going to bring that hand out again. So you're externally rotating the arm bone in the shoulder socket. You should feel some action around the shoulder when you do this. And we're going to bring, no, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to take our other hand. You can put it on your leg or you can hold the side of the chair if you want. And we're going to bring that arm up. And as we do, we're going to do this little side stretch. So when your arm comes up, your arm may not reach up. It may come out to here. Don't force anything. That's what I mean about your boundaries. So when you come, wherever you feel like stuck, that's where you stop. You're not trying to get beyond that. Arm is up, we're coming over to the side, and I really want you to think about the stretch from underneath the rib, so the last rib here, to the top of your hip. So you're stretching right here. So you can reach up towards the ceiling, take a breath. And exhale down. Come back again, nice easy breath, easy body. Just letting the left arm just drop down by your side. You're going to externally rotate. So bring the hand, it's going to turn out towards the wall and you're going to feel this stretch in the shoulder here. And you're going to lift the arm up and then we're coming to this nice side stretch. So when I'm coming over to my right, I really want to think about my left buttock or sit bone still digging down. I don't want to come all the way off the chair. So it's just reach and think about the stretch from here, from the hip to the rib here. Your neck, just as long as you're comfortable, okay? No tension, you're not holding tension anywhere. Inhale, reach, and then exhale, come back down. Release your arms by your sides, come back to your breath. Now I want you to take your hands and bring them onto your rib cage here. Take a breath. And on the next exhale, we're going to twist. So take a breath and then exhale, but you only want to twist through the ribs. So you're getting your ribs to twist. A lot of times when we twist, we'll twist the whole body like this, right? But our rib cage is meant to twist actually. So we're going to just try to keep everything else still and just try to move through the ribs. Now, a lot of times too, when we do a twist, come back and move the other way, take a breath. Exhale, twist the other way. A lot of times when we do a twist, we tend to move our head with us. So we think we're twisting, but we're actually just twisting in the cervical spine. I want this twist to just be in the ribs. So don't worry about the head moving at all. Just keep the head forward. Release the twist on your exhale. So inhale again. Exhale, twist to the other side. And I'm holding my ribs to just remind the movement to come from the ribs. Exhale, release. Inhale here. Exhale, twist to the other side. Take a breath here. And come back. We'll do a shoulder roll. So bring the shoulders up towards your ears. Now, when I say that, we're very likely to just be really moving in the arm bone, but I want you to think about the shoulder blades moving up. And some people don't get this right away, so don't worry if you don't, but I'm really thinking about the shoulder blades moving up the back. Then I'm going to bring the shoulder blades towards one another and then bring the shoulder blades down. Okay, so shoulder blades up. So my arms obviously are coming up with my shoulder blades, but I don't want to just be thinking, oh, I'm going to move my arm bone up because right now my shoulder blade is only moving a little bit. I want to bring the shoulder blades to come up, squeeze the shoulder blades together and move down. One more time, up, squeeze and down. And now the other way. So come back, always come back to your breath and that sense of ease. Now we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and move the shoulder blades up and around. So again, shoulder blades together. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back, moving the shoulder blades up the back, and then around. One more time. Squeeze the shoulder blades up the back and around and down. Come back to your breath. Come back to that sense of ease and softness. Very, very important. Going to just extend the arms again now, and we're going to do some internal and external rotations. So just then when we said, oh, we're going to open up our palms to the side wall, that's an external rotation. So you're externally rotating your arm bone right into in your shoulder socket here. And now you're going to turn them in. And it's really, again, easy to do this and think, oh, I'm moving my arm, but I really want you to try to initiate the movement, not through the lower arms, but initiate it from the top of the arms. You're really thinking about the big arm bones here moving in the shoulder sockets. External and internal, and move with your breath. So we're going to externally rotate, like open up and breathe in. Externally rotate and breathe out, or internally rotate and breathe out. And you can bring your arms up at a different angle. See how that changes things. Bring the arms closer together. Keeping the movement happening. Now, give the wrists a little circle. And release. Okay, what was I going to do next? I'm all mixed up. Okay, I think we'll move on to, you can move onto the floor. You don't have to. I'm going to sit in the chair and see how this goes. So I'm sitting at the edge of the chair, and I'm going to put my legs wide, not as wide as you can go, as wide as where it's comfortable for you. If this is really uncomfortable sitting on the chair, I would advise you to get a bunch of pillows and sit up on some pillows. But I'm going to assume that people are okay sitting here in the chair for now. And what we're going to do is, just like we were doing with our arms, internally and externally rotating our arms, we're going to internally and externally rotate our legs. So you can imagine we have these big leg bones and they fit into a hip socket. So what we're thinking, and this leg bone got a big like knob at the end, and that's sitting in the hip bone. So what we're doing is we're getting some rotation here in the hip bone. So again, I can go like this with my foot, and really there's not a lot going on. There's a bit of movement going on here in the hip bone, but it's not the same. And you'll feel the difference. I'm trying to really initiate, put my brain into the big leg bones here, and I'm trying to internally rotate and then externally. And this is getting some nice, lovely mobility in the hips. And move with the breath, okay? Inhale, open the legs, and exhale, close. And now move that distance between your legs, either wider or more narrow. Probably start wide and come in narrow, and then continue with that movement. So inhale, open, and exhale, close. I'm going to lean back on my chair now, but I'm not leaning back and letting myself collapse into my shoulders like this. I'm just leaning back, using my hands as support, still pushing out of the chair, okay? So almost lifting my chest. But again, I'm not arching my back and lifting my chest up to the sky, okay? My back is completely straight, just as though like I was standing, just straight back. Ribs are not poking out. And now I'm going to get you to bend those knees, and you're still up on your heels, and you're going to just wave the legs back and forth. So your bum will be moving on the chair a little bit as you're just moving, and we're doing the same thing here, trying to get the legs, bones, that nice movement in the hip sockets. So we're bringing both legs now together, side to side. Now I want you to just open one. So the two legs are open, and then bring the other one over. So then open one and bring the other leg over. Now you can open up a little wider, see how that changes things. So I got two legs going to one side. I'm going to open this one and close this. Open this one, and this one's going to open and kind of have that pulling of the other leg with it. This can be done on the floor as well, but this is pretty much the same. It is the same as if you were on the floor. So keeping with this movement, a couple more times. And last time, I got my legs nice and wide. I'm just going to stretch my legs, stretch my toes up to the sky, stretch my heels out. Take a breath here. And exhale, bend the knees. And I think we're coming right up to standing. Okay, coming to stand. Come back to the breath. Point the toes forward if you can, if it's comfortable. And just like we were externally rotating the legs when we were sitting down, with the feet on the floor, weight, remember, more back in the heels. You should be able to lift the toes and spread them out nice and wide. Take a breath here. Inhale, arms up. Reach. Exhale, arms down. A little closer together, arms up. Remember, don't bring the ribs to help the arms come. Just bringing the arms up without any other movement. And come down. So that external, internal rotation we were doing with the legs, I want you to keep the feet down, weight in the back, spread the toes, and you're gonna get that feeling of externally rotating your legs here and then relaxing. So it feels though it's almost like you're twisting your feet out, but the feet are not moving. So you feel the movement in the leg bones. So you might feel like the arch of your feet are even lifting up, or if you let the feet lift, they would. So this feeling like you're taking your feet that are flat and you're pushing them out, but you're not pushing without pushing them out. So the feet are not moving, but when I feel like I'm rotating, externally rotating, I feel it all the way up into the hips and even in the lower back of it for me. If you're not getting this right away, because this is so new, right? Like, have you ever done this before? Don't worry about it. Eventually you'll get it. Just to trust in that. Okay. Now get something, if you need to hold on, or if you, and you probably will, use your chair or a wall to hold on to. And we are going to still stand in this nice standing posture, but you're going to put your weight into the left foot. So you're going to put the weight in your left foot and kind of like raise the right foot. So putting the weight into the heel, pushing out, and you'll notice like this hip will rise a little bit because you're pushing in, and that's fine. So holding on to something now, you're going to lift that knee and put it down. And to make it even a little harder, just take some of the weight off the chair. So only hold the chair with your fingertips. Now, what we don't want to happen here is that we don't want the hip to start coming out to the side, okay? We want to hold that hip in. Weight is still in our heels. I'm not coming forward. And all I'm doing is I'm raising this leg and dropping it. And you're going to do that a couple times. Inhale, leg comes up. Exhale, leg comes down. So inhale, leg comes up. Exhale, leg comes down. This time we're going to inhale, leg up, and then we're going to open that leg out to the side. So I'm not opening it to the side and the whole body is coming with me. I'm trying to maintain this stillness in the body. I'm opening the leg out to the side to wherever it's going to come. Now I'm going to send that knee pointing down towards the floor, and we're going to close it up. So we're going to raise, and now this hip might be getting really tired, so take a break if you need to, but if not, you're getting great, beautiful work around the hip. That's so important in stabilizing us. Our hips, our shoulders are our biggest joints in the body. Close and together. And it's really important to have a stability around these joints, okay? And close. So whenever you need to stop, you can stop, take a break. Up, open the leg out to the side, point the knee down towards the floor, and close. Maybe we have one more. Up, open, down towards the floor and close. Drop. Come back to the breath. Notice how that hip feels. Now, slowing down the breath, slowing down the mind for a sec. Because when something gets difficult or when something is new, we often clench. Just a habit that we have. Oh, something is new, something is hard. Our body tends to clench, okay? But what we want to practice is not letting all the other parts of us clench. We want all the work to be going to this hip, and that's where we want all the energy going. So you clenching your jaw, clenching your belly, clenching around the shoulders is actually going to make you feel more tired than you are. And you're taking some of that energy away from the hip, okay? So let's just start on the other side now. So we do have our weight more in our heels. We want to feel nice and stable on this leg. And all we're doing first, so we don't want the hip to be sticking out. We want to make sure that the hip is in. When we pull our hip in, this kind of hip kind of raises a little bit. That's fine. Now from there, we're just going to raise the knee a couple times. Whew. Again, use something for balance and come down. Inhale, come up. Check in with the rest of you. Is everything getting a little tense in the jaw? Just relax all of that. Really focus your energy on the hip here. So coming down, doing that a couple more times. Up and down. Up. Hold there. Take a breath. And now inhale, open the leg. Exhale, point the knee down towards the floor and then close, okay? Inhale, lift the knee. So when I'm lifting, I'm not lifting, nothing else moves. Only the leg. Your leg may not come up this far. Your leg may come to this far. That's okay. Don't look at me and go, oh, I got to do exactly what she says. More about my words. So you're lifting the knee, opening the leg out towards the side. It may only come to here. No worries. It may only come to here. That's fine. Still, same thing. You point the knee down towards the floor and then close. Now your other hip is getting really tired, and that's great. So what's happening is we're getting mobility in this hip, the one that we're moving, knee towards the floor, and we're getting stability in this one. If things get too tough, if you're getting aches and pains, take a break, shake it out, come back to your breath, come back to that relaxed place, that place of ease and softness in the body, and start again. Leg up, open, close. Inhale up, open the leg, and point the knee towards the floor, close the legs up. Inhale, bring the knee out, exhale, open. Inhale, or move with your own breath, okay? Just be conscious of the breath. The inhale, exhale, open. Inhale, point towards the floor and close it up. Two more. I know this hip is burning. Lift, open, knee towards the floor, and close. Awesome job. Shake it out, and I'm sure the hips are really feeling that. Shake, wiggle, whatever it is that feels good for you. Okay. I didn't ask if you had any props. That's okay. What we'll do is we'll come to the top of your mat now. So again, you're coming to the top of your mat. A lot of people, 90% of people, and you can notice, and this is what's helped me to stop the bad habit that I was in, and most people are, is when you're standing, you tend to stand like this. And I might be exaggerating a little bit, but you tend to hold your weight. So what happens here, and you'll see, especially in men, you'll see like they look like they have no bum because their pants are like, the flat, right? And this is why. It's because they're like this, okay? I don't know, you especially see it in men, and I think it's because their hips are not as mobile a lot of times as women's. So we're going to push that weight. And I'm not like going like this, see? And that's what a lot of times when you ask people to stand up straight, they do something like this. I'm exaggerating it, but it's like stand up straight. And we don't want to do that, okay? That's not standing straight. It's actually shortening us. So what we want to do is, instead of having our weight hanging out in the front, we want our weight to hang out in the heels. Lift your toes, spread them. Now, you have your pelvis too, right? That you can tuck under and tuck out. Tuck under, so you can practice that, taking your hands to your pelvis or your hip bones here. And we're going to tuck the pelvis under and then out. So it's, I won't need it in that. So it's tuck under and tuck up, okay? And what you want to do is you want to find your in between there. So we don't want to be tucked too far under, and that makes everything kind of hang out in the front. What happens there is our quads take over the work of what the backs of our legs. So a lot of us are very strong in the quads, and all of the muscles in the back will really relax and stop kind of working as they should because the front of the legs have taken over. It's a compensation. So put the bum back. See how that feels first. We've talked about the pelvis, so we don't want to tuck it under too far. We don't want it to stick out and have that arch in our back. We want to find that neutral place. And come back to the breath. Notice how that feels. Do you feel like you're falling backward? Does it feel super uncomfortable? Just noticing how that feels. A lot of times we're so used to having our weight falling forward that when we're actually standing straight, we feel like we're falling backwards. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put all of our weight now into the left leg, just like we did a moment ago, and we're going to lift the right leg. Okay, so we'll go back to doing that, putting the weight into the left. You know, this hip comes up a little tiny bit, raise the knee like we just did, and we're going to try to step it back. Put your hands onto your hip bones, and you're going to step your leg back. You're not going to go back very far. You're just going to go back a little ways. Okay, so we're almost like we're on 2 cross-country skis. Adjust to make yourself feel very stable, wherever that has to be for you. I have my hands on my hip bones, and I just want to make sure that the leg that I put back, this one, is not causing this to happen. So I'm putting my leg back, but what happens if I don't have the mobility? My body is going to compensate to let my leg go back. So if I don't have the mobility in my hip, what's going to happen is something like this. Okay, so everything helps to get the leg back. That means that you put too much distance between the 2 feet. So come up again, put the weight in the left leg. You're going to raise the right. And when you go to step it back this time, you're trying, this hip may change a little bit. Your pelvis is here. You just put a leg back. So a lot of times it'll go like this, right? Your pelvis is going to move, well, not a whole lot, not that much, but your pelvis will move. I'm compensating everywhere else to get the leg back. So you want the leg back, the hip bones are kind of pointed forward. Now, the front leg is going to, we're into a lunge now, a high lunge. So the front knee is over the ankle. So you've just stepped back, you've raised the leg, you step back, you have your hands on your hips here, thinking about them pointing forward. Sometimes they're not pointing forward, they're pointing out to the side, because when we stepped our leg back, we stepped it back and now we're coming out to the side. So what I tell people to do is think about this front leg and plug it in. And when you plug that leg into the hip, the other hip is going to come forward. So now we're in this beautiful lunge. Inhale the arms up and we're into a warrior 1. Breathe, and remember when we bring the arms up, what did I say? Okay, now we're in this lunge, front knee over the ankle. See that? I don't have a wide stance. I have a bit of a bend in my back leg. You don't have to have the legs straight. I have a bit of bend. I feel quite comfortable here. You can hold on to something if you want, or inhale and bring the arms up. But again, I don't want to arch the back. I'm bringing the arms up only to where they come comfortably. And we're in warrior 1. Now I want you to pop off this back leg. So we're going to spring off. We're going to bounce off. Woo. Lose the balance a bit. That's fine. Bring the knee up again. If you can straighten the leg out. Point the toe down, point the toe up, and then come back to standing. Give it a little shake. And come back to the breath. Come to the top of our mat. We're going to go onto the other side. So all of our weight into our right foot, and I'll show front on. So weight into our front foot. Nice, easy breath. Come back to the breath. Inhale, leg up, 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 up. So I'm not going like this. I'm just everything, hips stays where they are, the pelvis stays where they are, the leg comes up, and then very gently, I'm going to, and slowly, working on balance on this standing leg as well. We're going to step back. Make any adjustments you need so that you feel nice and stable in this position. You can always hold on to something. So my front knee is over my ankle. There's a bend in my back leg. My 2 feet are like I'm on cross-country skis. Just finding nice and comfortable spot here. Inhale, arms up. The arms might come to here, remember, that's fine. And exhale down. Inhale up again. Warrior one. And exhale down. We're going to spring off this back leg now. So you're going to kind of spring. Keep the leg off the floor. Wherever it goes is fine. We're just doing a little bit of balance here. Swing the leg around if you can. See what your balance is like on that foot. And come to both feet. Give it a little shake. Come back to their breath. Let the belly expand on the inhale. Let the shoulders release. The jaw. Come back to that place of ease. And now we are going to come down onto our backs. So I would recommend getting something, whether it's a blanket rolled up or a pillow, just something for underneath the head. And so coming down onto the floor, there's many ways, and you can just choose whatever way you feel most comfortable to get down onto the floor. If there's any issues, you can always email me after this class, or you're always free to call me. If you have any issues after this about like being on the floor, or you don't like hands and knees, we're not doing hands and knees today, but if there are any things that, you know, after this class you feel uncomfortable, or if there's certain things that, because I can make adjustments for everything. So if you're not comfortable on the floor, I can always make suggestions for other things. But I'm going to assume right now that we're all okay to get down on the floor. So I'm just squatting down to the floor and then come onto my back. So one way to come down on your back, I'm just going to scoot forward, come down on my forearms, and then gently come down onto my back. I have my knees bent, and what I just want you to notice now about yourself, especially if you don't have anything on your head, and I really suggest you do, sometimes our chin tends to come up to the ceiling like this when we're on our backs, and that is a good indication that you need a pillow underneath your head. So I have a pillow underneath my head, and I want to feel my ribs. So I want to almost like put my shoulder blades under and feel my shoulder blades, my ribs touching, back of my ribs touching the earth. And then I want a small natural arch in my lower back. So we did that tilting and untilting of the pelvis. Same thing here. You just want to be in neutral when you're on your back. So you shouldn't have your back flattened. That means your pelvis is tilting up towards the sky. It flattens your back. Don't want the flat back, lower back, okay? So should always have like a little arch here. I have my knees bent. Relax the arms. You can put them wherever, out to the sides, on your belly. And what you're going to do now is, again, you have keep your left foot down, and you're going to raise this right knee. So you're going to raise it, and when you have it raised, you're going to open it up. So we were doing those external rotations with the legs. So we're doing the same thing here. The knee is up. We're externally rotating the leg, okay? Do that a couple times. The next time it's externally rotated, you're going to take the heel and drop it on the thigh. Now, if that makes your back, in order for you to get and I don't want you to use your hands, in order for you to get your ankle on your thigh, if you had to flatten your back, start over, move your feet further away from your bum, okay? Bring the leg up again, externally rotate it, drop the heel. So wherever you need to bring that leg to get the heel or the ankle on the thigh, you do that. Once it's there, relax, come back to the breath. You need to maintain this lower arch, okay? We don't want any of this stuff moving. We're just moving in the hips here. So what I'm going to do is come up on the toe of the bottom foot here. See how that feels. Did the back flatten to the floor? If it did, come back to where you were. This is your boundary for now. If you can come up on the toe, and you can come and take the whole foot off the floor without this back flattening to the floor, you can stay here. You can try bringing the leg a little closer to you, but only until the back starts to flatten to the floor. As soon as the back starts to flatten to the floor, so if I bring my leg up, you'll see my back is flattening right to the floor. I've come too far. And not that there is a problem with that. It's just that as soon as I do that and my back flattens, I am not getting the movement in the hip. The back is compensating for my hip to come. So I'm doing this pose so that I can get some beautiful mobility in my hip. I don't want mobility in my lower back. We oftentimes compensate a lot of movements by bringing the movement into the lower back, which causes a lot of lower back issues as well, or don't help with back issues, that's for sure. So the leg is up. I'm bringing the knee a little closer to my chest. I'm not clenching anywhere. If anything is getting too hard, you relax it back down. So everybody bring their leg down, uncross the leg, and we're going to come to the next leg. So bring the knee up, internally, externally, or externally rotated a couple times. And the next time it's externally rotated, bring the ankle down onto the thigh, kind of pushing this leg away from you, okay? So knee may want to come in, just pressing it away from you. You could be just good here. You may want to come up on the toe. You want to bring the leg up, but you only want to bring the leg, this knee, toward your body as much as you can without the back flattening to the floor. So you should be feeling a lot of stretch in this top leg. Come back to the breath. Enjoy this movement. Even a little bit, sometimes we tend to fall over to the left, so really bring that leg out so the knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. It's not coming over to the side, okay? Up towards the ceiling. Big breath in and exhale, release. So extend the arms out as long as they can go. Bring the knees up, put the hands on the knees, keep the arms extended, and we're just going to do some circles on the lower back. So you bend the elbows a little bit as you're bringing the knees close. So that flat part on your lower back, the sacrum, that's what we're kind of massaging now. And we're getting ready to move right into Shavasana. So that's the rest pose at the very end of class. So any last movement that you feel like you want here, you go ahead and do it. So we are gonna go right into Shavasana. But if you feel like you just need to move anyway, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to settle into Shavasana. So you're laying on your backs. You can have the knees bent. You can have them out straight. It's up to you. I like having the knees bent sometimes and just relaxing. So bringing the feet out a little wider and relaxing the knees together is really nice. You can take your hands onto the belly if you want, or one on the chest and one on the belly. You can have the hands out to the side, palms facing up towards the sky. You choose where is most comfortable for you right now. So just relaxing, settling in. Notice how you're feeling. Notice the dialogue, like what you're saying to yourself. Just notice how the body feels. Now trying to disconnect from those thoughts. So the thoughts can be there. You're just not going to pay attention to them right now. You're going to bring the focus to the top of the head, your scalp. Try to soften the scalp, moving down to the forehead, the space between the eyes. Create a little space between your teeth. Let the jaw relax. Allow the head to be heavy. Feel your whole back body against your mat or your floor. Try to let go everywhere. See if you can feel things softening and relaxing a little more with each exhale. Feeling the back of the neck relax and the throat. Let the shoulders relax and fall to the floor. Feeling the mat against your back. Relaxing the chest and the belly. Noticing your breath. Perhaps elongate the breath a little bit. Allow all around the belly to relax. Pelvis, even the pelvic floor, if you tend to clench everything in. Let everything soften and relax. Invite that relaxed feeling to move down the legs and into the ankles. Into the heels and the feet, up through the toes. Feel your arms relaxed by their sides. Notice the breath slowing down. See if you can invite more softness in the body. This is oftentimes the hardest, most difficult part of yoga for people, is to just stop. Slow the breath. Help slow down the mind. Slowing down the mind allows the body to relax. And knowing that this place is available to you whenever you need it throughout your day. Sometimes it's nice to just take a few moments just to connect to our thoughts, connect to our body. Taking time to come back to our breath. Come back to a place of ease and softness. I want you all to give yourselves a pat on the back for showing up for yourselves today. Starting your week with something new. Putting yourself out there, perhaps out of your comfort zone. I'm going to leave you guys here to relax for as long as you wish. But please be grateful to yourselves today for showing up for yourselves.